The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There's a girl in Eretz Yisrael. She gets onto a van. She needs to travel. She's a young girl, a young Kallah, very poor Kallah. She needs to travel 2 hours. She gets into the van. Some other people get in the front. She's in the back seat. The owner of the van, the one who's the driver, turns on the radio. The Nahag puts the radio on. And the girl hears the radio. She has her own nisayon with what to listen to and what not to listen to. She's very modest and very timid, but she speaks up and says, excuse me, sir. Could you please lower the volume? Could you please turn it down? The driver looks around and says, Slicha, excuse me. There are a lot of other people in this van. They enjoy it. Just because you don't like it, so you want to control everybody else? Too bad. Don't hear it, don't listen. There is a Rav who is sitting in the front. He is listening to a shiur with earphones, oblivious to what's going on. A couple of more people come in the van. The man turns up the radio a little bit, not on purpose. He turned it up a little bit. She can't take it. She has a nisayon. She stopped listening a long time ago, and it's very challenging for her to hear this. She asks again, Slicha Adoni, excuse me, could you please turn it lower? Could you turn it off? He says to her, I am very sorry, but you are not the one that is driving this van. I have to make sure that all my customers are happy, not just one who complains in the back seat. She said, okay, Tov, then please let me off. Let me off at the next stop. He fired back. I'll let you off at the next stop, but I'm not refunding you 1 penny. You don't get a penny back. She said, I didn't ask. I didn't ask for it. Next stop was not in the best neighborhood. She gets off on the stop. The Rav sees her getting off, starts to make an inquiry, asks the Nahag himself, could you please turn it down? He said no to the Rav. Girl gets off. The Rav goes. Hour and a half later, he's in his destination. He went to do a mitzvah. Later that day, he's going back. Lo and behold, he sees that girl, the girl that got off. He walks over to her and he says, I'm sorry, did you get another ride? Was everything okay? So she said, I tell you the truth. I had to wait about 20 minutes, but another van came and I went together. It was a service, car service, and I went together there. And there was an old lady that was sitting next to me. A lady that had a lot of personality, a lot of character. And she began to talk to me. She introduced herself. She told me her name, Kallah, and she asked me my name. And I told her my name, and she said, what are you doing? And I began to explain to her, I'm on the way to a gemach because I have to get a dress, the gown for my chuppah, and it was a little difficult to fit, and it's not a new gown, and it's not in good condition, but I'm thankful to the Borei Olam that I have a gown to get married on. And so Kallah began to say, I'll tell you what I'm doing. We used to be, and I want you to know, one of the poorest families in Yerushalayim. We had no food during the week. No food. One time it got so bad that my father went. He traveled to the kever of the Heilige Tana, Rabbi Meir. He stayed an entire day and davened an entire day by the kever. When he came back, he wasn't the same person anymore. He had changed. There was something so different about him. After that as well, for some strange reason, we began to have certain things that we never had. A little bit of food during the week, some clothing, money began to come in. Parnasa started to go up. Little by little, we became one of the wealthiest families in Yerushalayim. My father, Zichrono Livracha, when he was nifter, he left over a tzava. In the tzava was that we should go to the kever every time on the yard site. The second thing in the tzava is that we should find a poor Kallah, and we should give her all of the expenses necessary for the wedding and for the Shana Rishona, for the first year. And so Kallah says, you have saved me the trouble of finding the Kallah. You don't need to travel to any gemach. You can have everything for your chasna in the Shana Rishona. Oznaim nikiyos, ears that are pure, ears that are clear, ears that hear the right things. We have no idea what it means in our world, what the level of purity that Hashem Yisparach requests from us.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org